And we're back. It is time for Act 2 with this deck. We are ready to find our grand finale and pivot the entire deck towards it. Got a champ at the very end.
Not everything has to be a pivot. We have the nuance to exist with all things in harmony. Look, I'm just asking you to step into the iris with me, Rhapsody. A deck in balance.
That is actually another good point as well, which is that I do often consider changing the way that I am going to solve a fight as wholly pivoting my strategy. Things are very much a single whole consistently, and if you change it, it is a different whole thing rather than the same thing with different additions.
Yeah. You know what? So I'll make a reference haphazardly and casually and perhaps dangerously to another video game, which is Monster Train. And when I first started Monster Train, Slay the Spire gave me the foundation to understand the game. And eventually, I became better by shedding those understandings and expanding my game, right? And what's really delighted me is that most recently, I have seen Monster Train start to offer understanding back to Slay the Spire. And the really big thing that I think that Monster Train has given me is Monster Train encourages you to think of fights across just a couple buckets. And the buckets are like tanky enemies up front, weak backliners, and scaling through bosses. And then there's another big thing that you have to think about, which is, and how do I take these trials? And a lot of high-level Slay the Spire play is, how do I take these trials? You're constantly being tried by different difficult enemies and having to take one deck and play it different ways. And I think Monster Train has helped me really understand that a lot better. How do I take this collection of answers and change the way I'm using it just a little bit? Not a full deck pivot, but just change the way I'm using it to solve this problem.
Especially because in Monster Train, the way that you pilot the deck during the fight can be like a huge area of decision making that sometimes can overshadow the decision making you get to make with certain decks in Slay the Spire. It forces you to think about that even within the context of a single deck. But totally in particular, like talking about the way it makes you think about exactly those kinds of dead stops is exactly the same thing that happened to me with my experience of Monster Train and Slay the Spire. It teaching me in the reverse direction of, hey, there are these like dead ends that you need to consistently think about. The example from Slay the Spire feeding towards Monster Train would be, I realized the dead ends in Ascension 15 are the elites, and I need to suddenly think about the elites. This is ages ago. And it's nice to see that kind of like directly mappably track upon another game.
Super cool. I think right now, if I'm thinking about, whoa, that was easy pick.
I mean, like, what, Mama Fight it?
Okay. Points and counterpoints, maybe?
Points, we can discard some of them.
Exactly, which effectively upgrades them. And discarding them is also like block. Also, being able to generate block through discard synergizes really nicely with being intangible, because you get just enough to keep from taking chip. That's good.
Second point, we have. Oh, sorry. Go point.
No, give me more points. I want more points.
Second point, we have multiple different upgrade paths on this line, and if they ever get upgraded, they can also be retained for the right turn with well-laid plans.
True. Very strong block.
Counterpoint, we're already quite defensive between the after image as well as melees and the piercing well.
And we would be losing some current health. Oftentimes, I'm more willing to take this event if I'm a little bit into the act and I'm on low health, right? If we were currently on 25, then we don't lose any current health to take this, and that might be exactly the kind of boost we need to get through. But this is 5 apparitions. It is so strong, and in concert with Afterimage, it may just be so strong that it's just correct to take it, because of we're done with block at that point. Apparitions, Mummified Hand, Afterimage, and the cards that are in our deck, we don't have to think about block anymore, basically. And that is really, really good.
Counterpoint. It is deck bloat that is in a deck that is currently exclusively looking for 1 card, but that's
very true.
Kind of weak. Second counterpoint. We have upgrade debt on a lot of things at the moment, and taking on 5 more upgrade debt is.
Well, I don't think we'll upgrade the apparitions. I think we can only take this if we accept that we're not going to upgrade them. Okay. I think that's the way we need to think about it. Is we're going to take this event knowing that we will be upgrading Blade Dance, Quick Slash, Acrobatics. Yep. Cool. I dig it.
Do we want to go to both shops, or do we want to go to the later shop so we have the ability to, like, two more
I'm down
card
to go
looks
2
before
fights later shop, because the hallway enemies right now don't scale very hard. Those are the fights that will be scary to us. Single target scaling enemies, because we have one source of linear scaling damage in Panache and no like multiplicative scaling damage in the deck. And so I think we take hallway fights to look for cards to solve that problem.
Okay.
Maw is the game. I gave it as a pet example last act, but Maw is actually the fight that I'm worried about. Look at the block, man. Look at the tough bandages with concentrate is so neat.
I mean, like,
it might be where, well, Panache?
Yeah, Panache is the solve to this fight. Like, I'm also looking at these and going, any of these potions is worth less than it usually would be, because if I draw a potion after this fight, I've lost a potion's worth of value. But then there's, specifically the Gremlin Leader and the Book of Stabbing.
Yep. You got me tongue twisted. That's exactly where I was going. Is it may be that Poison Potion Thorn Spot is the only way right now that in the absence of a few more cards we win those fights. That's the hard thing about potion analysis, right? I think level 1 is being willing to play the potions and to not fall into the it's too good to use trap. But level 2 is realizing that it's worth taking 20 damage to hold a potion because it's the only way you win the upcoming fight, right?
Yep.
That's a thing that happens more often than you'd think.
I mean, I might as well just become as defended as possible.
Yeah.
Look at this Panache.
Can't go lower than 1. Caca! I will continue multi-attacking you foolishly.
I cannot believe they're still trying.
Why?
Why are you still here? But
why are you still here? Yep. Oh, you can bring the one down.
Yeah, backline.
The front one. I mean, like you could get it out of the air because flight is only 3.
Oh, right.
But it's okay. I think like we're just gonna win, right? We have Panache up now.
Yeah, as soon as I had the 4 apparitions at that point, I was like, yeah, nothing's happening anymore.
Nothing happens here. Yeah. It's weird. They claimed that it was a video game, but every time I open it, there's just nothing happening.
Yeah. It's extremely strange.
Did you happen to have a card in your deck that said something like apparition? Do you? I don't know, man. Are you looking at that Endless Agony?
I am.
You looking at Leg Sweep?
Like, I like Leg Sweep in particular because of the champ, by which time I don't know if we will still have apparitions in the deck.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that I skip here, which is weird to skip Leg Sweep. But the reason is that basically what I foresee for us is we're going to pick up like a Deadly Poison and upgrade it and a Bouncing Flask and upgrade it. And we need that to be enough to scale damage through key fights like Champ. And so everything that's just more linear damage is in the way, and everything that's block is currently redundant. But there is some late game room for Leg Sweep for like weakness or something. I just don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
It's weird to skip Leg Sweep.
It's extremely weird.
Very, very strong.
It's very much for a long time been the first time I see it, I'll take it.
Yeah, and I think that's really reasonable. This is one of those exception runs to where it doesn't make any sense to block beyond 0 damage. It can be actively bad, right? You said this yourself. It can be actively bad to take too much block because it's slowing down your damage output.
Yep. A lot of our decks are making decisions that usually wouldn't be made. Well.
That's because that's fun.
And
because I think creativity is the art of the craft, though. Seriously, right? Like we have to. Adaptation is how you win more runs.
Oh, totally. But also, speaking of, you messaged me after the previous run to talk about the Tungsten God, and we weren't even thinking about the impact of the blue candle and the impact that had on that many fights.
Yes.
Whew.
It was a lot. The total cards that we drew because we didn't take Tungsten Rod, between Beat of Death and Blue Candle and all this stuff, it was a lot of card value. We had effectively generated. I wouldn't be shocked if we were generating on average an extra card a turn, because of taking or skipping Tungsten Rod. And that's crazy value, right? Like, you always take that, basically.
Yep.
Are we gonna get stuck in this fight? Are we just gonna fail to kill this?
We just didn't have Panache online for a while, but now that we have it online, ship cards I think will be enough.
Yeah. This is maybe a good moment to contemplate our existence in this run.
Mm-hmm. What in particular would we need to be contemplating? Because, like, I'm not really foreseeing much trouble in the upcoming Elite fights. I might be a little bit naive in that, but I do feel extraordinarily powerful right now. So
we need
is it
to
the
hit the
execute
next level.
turn?
Yeah, I think we're just going to find that while it is nice to consistently block for about 15 and to do about 30 damage every turn, that's just not enough for some fights. Those numbers have to get bigger over time, right? So that's the thing to solve. We just have to adapt to whatever's offered. There's a world to where we try to create this into a deck to where we're proccing Panache multiple times a turn, and that might be enough. If we can seriously play 10 cards a turn, that might be enough. It certainly opens us up to, go home and rethink our life if we have to fight Time Eater in the next act.
It definitely does. I gotta be honest, I'm looking at these 4 upcoming elites, and
that's part of the way.
I'm thinking that, maybe Kunai? Maybe? Maybe Shuriken? Maybe?
Yeah, that would do it. That would really help. The Shuriken, I'm more excited about Shuriken right now than Kunai. Somewhat substantially.
Yeah, the problem set that we have is fixed more by the Shuriken than the Kunai right now.
Yep. Not to say I'm not excited about both, but I'm just...
Oh no, we're getting both.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now. Both of those are going to
manifest. I love when you manifest this outcome. Look at that full block with Survivor plus After Image plus Tough Bandages. So strong.
Who needs to keep 2 cards in hand? Certainly not me.
Instead, you can just win. Look at these synergies. Oh my gosh. This really gets my goose in a positive way. Nunchaku, proccing, and it's just everything. Okay, so I think it's Acro.
The card that kept flashing up on the screen for no reason whatsoever?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why I feel it's Acro, but it does seem that is the case.
It's a strange glitch, that one. I think you got to reboot the stream.
Okay, got it.
I don't know if the speed potion offers us more.
I don't think it's helping us snowball in the way that the other potions can. Ooh. How excited are you by the glass knife, actually?
For like the single target damage to, like pretty pleased about it. Like not extremely more pleased about it than I would be about other things, to be entirely honest at this point in time.
There is a musical vessel here, which may
like a receptacle
relevant
for some sort of a vocalization.
Yeah, a tune turner.
Interesting.
I wanted to alliterate, but I don't know a synonym for bowl that starts with T.
it's totally okay. That is a game that my partner and I play constantly of just like an interesting turn of phrase, and then the other person effectively tries to thesaurus every word in it and then pass it back, and then just pass it back as many times as possible until one person fails. It's good. It's real good fun.
Yeah.
It's weird because they have included the singing bowl. You're right. It's good relic. But then they left one spot blank.
Weird.
Strange.
Seems like there's just not a relic there.
It's extremely weird.
I'm gonna turn you at some point. I know that there's unfortunately the part of the brain which processes the frozen eye just didn't happen for you. That's what you told me before, but frozen eye is really good. I've definitely had a handful of Ascension 20 heart runs that won only because of frozen eye.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, and the cards, but like Frozen Eye was a requirement to win the run.
I at no point will I say Frozen Eye is bad. In fact, I think it is incredible. It's just it doesn't work on me. It's a blank space, and I never remember it. To the point that like a large amount of discussion about Frozen Eye pickups in my series have become, oh, he's joking that he doesn't remember it. Like, I
It's not a
appreciate
bit.
exactly. I appreciate the belief in me, but
Yep.
no, it literally just doesn't work in my head.
Frozen Eye is in a weird place too, because Frozen Eye like is objectively good, but in the same way that some picks like cards are debt against your late game, Frozen Eye is frequently debt against your own human mortal body. It's so much mental fatigue that it can end up backfiring because it keeps you from doing more runs or like closing well.
We tend to think of those things as an endless wellspring, but they aren't.
They are not. Yeah.
I really like the
I like
card
it.
here that just says
Yeah.
block for 15 or block for 20, depending on.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. It's real good here. Yeah.
Just gonna click that.
So, but what else, right? I'm kind of torn here. I'm in this moment where I'm wondering, were we supposed to go to 2 shops? Do we just take a deadly poison and upgrade it? Do we go Singing Bowl and just try to be slow at scaling and take advantage of a little more health? Do we buy Glass Knife and upgrade that, and that's our front load? I don't know. There's a lot of problems that we still need to solve on the types of damage side.
I'm looking at this in particular, and the large reason the Glass Knife is so deprioritized for me is, I mentioned before, I don't think the elites on this floor are currently a problem for us. I think the champ is the next problem, and in that fight, the Glass Knife will be a 0x2, and we will still have the champ on 200
Yeah,
HP.
frequently. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. So maybe that means it's something like, you know, deadly poison and I don't know about footwork here. I like it more because of Mummified Hand. I like it more because of how good Cloak and Dagger is. I like it less because we have 5 copies of... You looking at that Metamorphosis?
I am.
Upgrade that sucker.
We have a lot of draw, and we are missing out on like direct target damage.
Okay, click it. I'm into this line.
Yeah, and also deadly poison just for like rounding our bases. Or do we want to go?
If we're taking the deadly poison, if we're taking the deadly poison, we're going to upgrade it, and we're going to look to give it some friends. Card removal lets us lean in on the cheapy attacks line. And would you card remove a defend?
Yeah, probably at this point.
Let's do that.
I like it. All right. Oof.
We are going to have to snowball so hard. We should be thinking of ourselves as Watcher at this point, because we need to take what we're doing and use it to get so much value that we can then convert that into a heart victory. Which we can do. Oh my gosh, this hand is madness. Are you going to do the calculated gamble right here and just like...
I was going to throw out the 0-cost shiv as well.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
We're doing it. It's... Oh, and the apparition as well, so it was all ultimately not necessary. Wait, hang on.
No, but it's... This is maybe really good. 14, 27, 34. If you play well-laid plans, the worst case is that it hits a defend, and then we're blocking in full. Yeah. And the best case is that it hit the apparition, and then... Actually, is that even a best case? It
no, yeah,
actually matter, does
we
it?
block in full because of the top bandages, regardless.
Yeah, I guess hitting the apparition would be good because then we could hold a couple of those cards. But this fight it ended before it began. Whoa. I think Cloak and Dagger is better than Die.
Yeah.
Right now.
100%.
A thing that I say often. Metamorphosis upgrade so good.
We have to.
Oh yeah. No meme. I actually think that this could be a winning line for us. If we keep the deck tight enough and keep the draw high, cycling cheapy attacks. You know, I mean, if we can scale up to, say, about 50 damage a turn, that's Alpha, Beta, Omega. That's enough. You can win a lot of fights that way. That with a complement of something that we have 2 floors to find can be enough to beat the heart.
Whew! We finally found it. Took us a while, but we got there. And
can you hear him distantly? Can you hear the rumblings?
The rumblings of who?
Of the time eater calling us.
Oh, 100%.
This hand looks delicious.
The time eater calls our name.
Let me consume.
No,
it's okay.
Do we want a double apparition, or just like throw out the
Yeah,
large malaise?
I think that's stronger than the malaise because it also makes it more likely that on the redraw we can just close. Oh, I guess the apparitions would get rid of themselves, but yeah, I think we're gonna win in 4 turns. So
yeah. Oh, especially with these gremlins come up.
yes,
Much appreciated for the pretty much free fight here.
agreed.
It's weird.
No,
The piercing
honestly,
whale hasn't.
I think
Sorry.
I think that people are more, and I may be, wow, it's just nothing but heel hook. I may be too cavalier about fights against Time Eater, but I think that Time Eater is not as scary as people think. Because most decks that are trying to get cheeky with playing lots of cards will also have a mechanism by which they can play less cards and succeed. I think prepared may be better than bullet time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah, I think so.
we generate our own energy so much that, especially if we got an energy relic eventually out of this, the bullet time would become kind of useless.
It's anti-draw, which is not what we want. I like this prepared a lot. It's a block card. It's cycling. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just find, I think we take Potion Belt. I think we take Potion Belt, and the reason is that Potion Belt can be the way to beat the heart. You can carry your victory into the heart fight, and that allows us to keep doing what we're doing to fight everything else.
Okay. I am
really
worried about the possibility of getting to the next floor and the chest having Shuriken, Kunai, having Ornamental Fan, having Dead Branch, gosh forbid.
Yeah, Dead Branch in particular is really brutal. But this is a known way to win, seriously. We put another poison potion and a cultist potion into it and a power potion, and that can be enough.
Yep. I really want the calculated gamble to no longer exhaust.
Sure, yeah, I like that. The Blade Dance still wants an upgrade, and the Malaise want an upgrade in this. And actually, Quick Slash is still fine, but it's getting more marginal.
I mean, but is Quick Slash ever going to be a card that I actually plan to upgrade? It is the 4 extra damage, but the 4 extra damage...
At this point, probably not.
Yeah.
That was maybe more of an Act 1 upgrade, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow. Sweet.
I'm not even going to consider the other one on that because some nice upkeep.
So. No, that was super synergies.
Hang on, should I play these in the right order? No, it doesn't matter.
We got it anyway. And we can hold the concentrate so good with the curse. So we have discard fodder. It's awesome.
It's pretty much perfect.
That's like Omega turn 1. It's so good. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, do you agree? Like, I often feel that while Time Eater can punish really high card or infinite card plays, you can often also solve it with just a couple cards and playing differently.
It's the things that come to mind for me are the situations where I failed to do that more than the situations where I did that. Although I know that there have been enough times where I've included a low cost card or something like that because I'm like, I know that I need to tick over Time Maze on this turn. I need to have something. I know that Well-Laid Plans becomes nutty as hell for me in that kind of situation, and that is very much a 1-card solution for that a lot of time.
Yeah.
At the very least, for specifically setting up your hits on the right turn.
Right. So I think we're more worried about pushing damage here than pushing malaise. I would do the Blade Dance thing, and then concentrate such that. Oh, I was even going to suggest leaving. Oh, we can do it like this. Perfect. Oh my gosh, this is incredible hand.
There we go.
That's really good. You found the line. That's for sure.
And just to immediately invalidate it by playing 2 apparitions thereafter.
I'm not even mad. We did so much damage. GG.
GG. Ooh.
Do you want an infinite blades?
It lowers the cost of our opening hand. Well, not necessarily. It either maintains the cost of our opening hand or slightly lowers it.
Infinite Blades is also 1/10 of an energy every turn.
It's another reason to pick up the eventual accuracy and turn this into a full Shiv deck.
I am so upset by what we're making, and it's not because I don't love it. It's just I'm just confused.
Jackson instantly upgrade it?
I think we can cycle pretty fast, actually. I think this Jax is pretty good.
We do, yeah. We cycle ridiculously quickly because of the amount of things that burn out, but also because we are heavily incentivized in the first cycle to throw away a hand of 8 or 9 and draw a whole new hand. We cycle like 2 turns at a time on those turns.
True. You know what's wildest? We could have bottled calculated gamble.
We could have
bottled lightning in that shop. That's actually like pretty cool line, actually.
It's a giant anchor.
Yeah.
I like that play.
It's also like gambling chip, and then we could get a gambling chip. We could draw through like 27 cards on turn 1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild to think that that's a world for us.
I mean, especially if those cards can actually be worked into your play. That is just giant setup.
Right. Dig.
Just keep going.
I even think I may. Well, it's not. We've already won, but I was gonna say, with how important apparitions and panache are, I may have discarded the whole hand, including the strikes and everything, to just dig. But now we have won. So the path there, is much less important than the outcome.
The destination is quite nice at the moment.
I think we talked about this last broadcast, so I won't beat the dead horse on this one, but it's a common thing in streams where someone's like, would this have been a better play? And the answer is only in your enjoyment of it, because the only objective criteria is, would we have taken less damage? And the answer is no, because 0 cannot be decreased, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we were winning with no damage either way.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like, I am sympathetic, because especially as someone who, watched streams for a large period of time before starting to create content myself, I would have that same reaction of, oh, but you could have done this in this way, and then the damage number would have been higher. And it's taken being on this side of the microphone to realize, yes, but the damage number can be higher, and you can always make the damage number higher, usually at least, and make the episode an hour longer or something like that. But
yeah, we can micro every fight to like get our invisible points the highest. Absolutely,
exactly.
And there's joy there. There's joy there. I don't want to come across like I'm minimizing that, because I frequently play hands perfectly beyond what was necessary just because I like it. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure, but do it in like hands rather than doing it in my whole builds.
Right.
At least consistently, my whole build is towards doing this, or my whole play style is towards doing this.
Like Heart Fight Flex is where we're in a position to where we say, we've already won, but can I play Grand Finale twice in this turn? That's the kind of thing that delights me. Yeah. For 0 damage, that's right. Yep.
I am going to immediately take ownership of the mistake that was there. I should have just discarded the apparition. It was just bad.
Yeah, but that's okay. No, it's okay. I think what we want to do in this fight to win is malaise for infinity and start cycling jacks, right? I think that's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And just be defensive and like be purposeful about not proccing panache too much, to buy a bit of time for us to get more jacks online.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I like it. I like it. I still don't really want to throw shivs back into the deck because they slow down the cycle.
No, I agree. Yeah, we get them out. But like playing backflip prepared here, right? And dunking apparitions, those are the kinds of things that will help us, I think, get the slightly better next cycle.
As quickly as I can get through.
This is wicked. This is really good. This is really good.
That is actually like another one of the big reasons that I liked Acrobatics here as a choice, is because you draw all of the cards first and then discard. So you have the ability to go, I drew into an apparition and now I can save it for the next turn. It's not even a bad thing to play for your last energy.
No, it's not. Plays really nicely with the Well-Aid. Oh, I guess getting Metamorphosis online is another way for us to win, right?
Yeah, definitely. Should we get it online? Should we hold it for a couple cycles while we get better with the jacks and then get it online?
That's not a bad idea, actually. I really like that. I really like getting 1 or 2 more jacks online first, just to keep from polluting the deck too much, and then we'll be even more excited about the riddle with holes that we make, right?
Mm-hmm. So we'll probably hold Metamorphosis and Concentrate at the end of this turn. Concentrate especially for making sure that I can discard the apparitions if I draw them.
I like it. Damage...
We don't need to play any other cards.
Do you think damage is slow enough that we could get away with pushing another Panache proc, or would we rather keep it slow? It feels like
I like it.
We don't really need to, but I think we can get away with a bit of push. If we were creeping up on that 210 mark really aggressively, I would start to be worried, but it's been slow enough, I think.
It's also worth noting, like, we want to be able to choose when we break, so we want to get close to it.
Yep. This is really fun because if you listen to the words we're saying, I think that if I were listening from the outside, it would strike me as a little weird to go from such a deep objective strategy game to language that sounds like, I feel like we can do X. I believe that we can push a little harder, but so much of consistent high-level play ends up being built around those kinds of heuristics and feeling. Like, you really do build up a feeling and intuition over time for fights like this.
Oh, definitely.
Which is really the things that I can't articulate are some of the things that excite me the most, because that's something I take pride in, I think, as a broadcaster, is articulating, crystallizing difficult ideas, right?
Yeah. And
so when it's just like, I don't know, I just know, that's kind of a cool moment, actually.
You kind of find the skill to explain those things along the way a lot of the time as well. In particular, like, sometimes I will have this concept in my head, this monstrous concept that I do not think can be, like, translated well into words, and I'll start and I'll find my way well enough to the point that if I listen to it afterwards, I'm like, if I wrote it down, that's what I would have had to write.
Yeah.
You just kind of
awesome.
become trained.
Moment of
to
clarity.
do them.
Yeah. So is this neutralize Shiv, concentrate everything but metamorphosis, and then play it just to save the apparition?
Neutralize Shiv,
concentrate
to drop everything, and then save the metamorphosis? Sorry, what did you say?
Nope. So we play neutralize and Shiv, we concentrate away defend apparition and curse to save the apparition, just because we're coming up on split and we want to save. And that gives us a full block anyway because of tough bandages. And then we play the metamorphosis right now, or do we hold another turn?
I gotta be honest, I have 7 strength at this point, and we're generating like enough shivs. I kind of, I think it's time.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. What's it gonna be?
Ooh, Predator.
The zero cost Predator is real good. The Flechettes is also really good because we can hold skills. That was a solid hit. Solid hit. Okay, are we splitting on this turn? Because if we start doing damage, we are. We got an apparition. We've got a calculated gamble coming. I think we can, because we can hold calculated gamble to bail ourselves out and to find apparitions. We need to hold prepared in order to drop apparition next turn, probably.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe just hold one of the discards, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking about, of how do we get to keep the apparition in the deck, and I forgot that we had solutions in hand.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and we can do so much damage here too. I feel like we keep going. I feel like we play backflip and keep going.
Okay.
In worst case, we drop the thing this turn.
I mean, acrobatics can drop the apparition this turn.
Yeah. And then it could give us a couple more. Wow, just so much kindness. Oh, we get to hold like the best cards too. This is very good. We've certainly won.
We get 2 turns to wail on them and we're not weakened. Like, this one was over now.
Do you ever just play the 2 apparitions here? Oh, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter at all.
This is over now.
Yep. I'm sorry. You were having a fight? GG, Raps. I really like what we did with the deck. I still don't think it's...
after image instead?
I really don't.
The extra block?
Yeah, I think more after image is really, really cool. Yeah.
Oh, my heart.
I know. Look, it can be done.
Teak, my heart. Teak.
You don't want that black star?
For the, what, 3, 4 elites we probably have left?
Yeah. You don't think that's better than a wristblade?
Should I?
We could take a wristblade. Wristblade's fine.
Oh, that's a fine of not fine. It's fine.
It's fine. You click it. Click the wristblade before I change my mind.
Let's think about the other options first.
Okay.
After image.
I have already changed my mind.
Okay.
Click the black star.
You want the black star?
Give me your real pitch. I don't want to just meme. I'm genuinely curious about the evaluations here because there is something to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you see?
So
your elf eyes?
all of our cards from Metamorphosis are going to be 0-cost attacks.
That's right.
So will the neutralize as well as the shiv we get every single turn, and the
That's
shivs
right.
that we end up generating from the Blade Dance. If we end up taking this and we still have the ability to upgrade cards,
That's
the
right.
remaining upgrades in this deck are After Image, and I mean maybe the acrobatics, but also the shivs.
And there's
definitely
not many upgrades left anyway, so it's okay. Yeah.
I also do tend to look at this Black Star and think that it's 3 extra relics at this point.
And the Fusion
Maybe.
Hammer is not bad, because what the Fusion Hammer lets us do is take more copies of things like acrobatics and just be so consistent with how we draw through the deck. I am actually starting to look at this Wristblade. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Kind of more mathematically, and it's not bad because it's going to. It won't quite double our damage output because so much of our damage is coming from panache procs. But it will substantially increase our damage output to the point to where it makes it easier for us to take on all of those key fights in Act 3. It lets us be more aggressive with pathing. It makes us feel much more confident about pushing down the Act 4 elites. And in some ways, that's like a Black Star, right? Being able to push more aggressively to see more cards and see more relics. That's exactly what we hope to get out of a Black Star. And it would be the first time that I have ever taken and won against the heart with a Wristblade, I think.
Ooh, I love
Ever.
that you immediately tagged that with taken and won.
Yes.
Because it's just gonna
I have taken
happen.
Wristblade before, but not very often.
I gotta be
think
honest.
we can do it.
The longer I stay on this screen, the more I feel like Wristblade. In particular, because the things that are natural inclusions to this deck as well, and the natural upgrades, as I was mentioning before, are also things that will just work with the Wristblade.
We can. I think we can. I think it's just so strange. It's not a way that I've ever been able to scale damage enough against the heart. And we still might complement it. Like, this deck still might pick up, hold the poison potion and pick up a couple poison cards, and that will be a substantial amount of damage, but this is big.
I like
can't
it
believe
a lot.
What's happening?
This is my grand finale.
I don't know if I'm going to rest very well or not at all. Will I have night terrors about this run, or will it be peaceful dreams of Wristblade? I couldn't tell you.
It's fine. I'll be able to tell you how you're going to rest after this, and it's going to be in peace. For the
or in pieces.
Exactly. For the 3rd and 4th act is going to be in the next video. It's going to be linked in the description down below. Hope to see you there.